The sun dipped below the horizon, casting elongated shadows over the dilapidated amusement park. Emma pushed open the creaking iron gate, its rusty hinges groaning in protest. Her emerald eyes shimmered with a mix of daring and curiosity. "This place gives me the creeps," Mia whispered, clutching her jacket tighter around her petite frame. "That's the point," Lucas smirked, his tousled hair falling over eyes that danced with mischief. Jake lagged behind, his footsteps hesitant. He adjusted his glasses nervously, the weight of unspoken warnings heavy on his mind. "They say the new ride is to die for," Emma teased, a sly grin curling her lips. "Let's see if it lives up to the hype." The quartet ventured deeper, the decaying rides looming like skeletal giants against the twilight sky. Emma led the way, her fearless spirit unshaken by the eerie silence. She craved the thrill, the adrenaline that surged when stepping into the unknown. Jake's gaze darted around, every rustle sending a jolt through his cautious heart. Logic was his compass, and tonight it spun erratically. Mia's soft features were etched with concern. Her vivid imagination painted horrors in every shadow. Yet she followed, driven by loyalty and a desire to overcome her timidity. Lucas feigned nonchalance, masking his unease with sarcasm. Beneath the bravado, he grappled with the fear of being seen as vulnerable. A distant melody floated through the air, a whimsical tune distorted by the wind. "Do you guys hear that?" Jake asked, his voice barely above a whisper. They followed the sound, emerging into a clearing where a garish structure towered before them. The Funhouse Inferno, an amalgamation of swirling colors and twisted architecture. At its entrance, a giant clown face leered down, its mouth a gaping abyss. The eyes flickered to life, glowing ominously. "Welcome, dear guests," a hollow voice echoed. Mia shuddered. "Maybe we should turn back," she suggested, her instincts screaming danger. "And miss all the fun?" Emma winked, stepping forward without hesitation. The others exchanged uneasy glances before trailing behind. Inside, the world shifted. Mirrors lined the walls, reflecting their distorted images back at them. Lights flashed erratically, casting eerie shadows. The door slammed shut, plunging them into darkness. "Emma," Mia called out, panic rising. A sinister chuckle reverberated around them. "Let the games begin," the voice sneered. Suddenly, the room was bathed in a sickly glow. In blood-red letters, a riddle scrawled itself across the mirror. "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Lucas cursed under his breath. What kind of sick joke is this? Jake's mind raced. "Fire," he said aloud. The room rumbled, acknowledging the correct answer. Corridors unfurled before them like a labyrinth. Each step seemed heavier, the air thick with malevolence. They pressed on, but the path splintered and suddenly they were separated. Emma found herself in a hall of whispers, phantom voices taunting her. Memories of her childhood fears surfaced: abandonment, loss, the guilt of risks gone wrong. She clenched her fists, refusing to succumb. "You're not real," she screamed into the void. Meanwhile, Jake stumbled into a room where the floor shifted like quicksand beneath him. His fear of helplessness gripped him tight. "Stay calm," he told himself, recalling his strategies for anxiety. He spotted a ladder and climbed, ascending out of the illusion. Mia wandered through a maze where the walls closed in with every turn. Her claustrophobia threatened to overtake her. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she struggled to breathe. "It's all in your head," she repeated, a mantra against despair. A soft glow caught her eye, a key hanging from a thread. Summoning her courage, she grabbed it, and a door materialized. Lucas faced mirrors that reflected not his exterior, but his insecurities. The facade he wore, cracking to reveal the fear beneath. "Is this who you really are?" the clown's voice mocked. Anger flared within him. "I am more than my fears," he shouted, shattering the mirrors with a decisive blow. One by one, they navigated the clown's twisted games, their trials designed to exploit their deepest vulnerabilities. Emma and Jake reunited at a crossroads. Relief washed over them, but there was no time to rest. "We need to find Mia and Lucas," Emma urged. Together they deciphered riddles and dismantled traps, their strengths complementing each other. Jake's analytical mind paired with Emma's intuition formed a formidable force. They found Mia curled up but unbroken, her eyes reflecting newfound strength. Lucas emerged from the shadows, his demeanor humbled but resolute. "This clown wants to break us," he said grimly. "But we're still here." The group pressed on, the atmosphere growing more oppressive. They entered a grand chamber where the clown awaited, a towering figure of chaotic colors and a grin that split his face unnaturally. "Congratulations on making it this far," he sneered. "But can you handle the final riddle?" The walls animated with scenes of their past failures and regrets. The clown's eyes gleamed as he posed the last challenge. "I bind and imprison, but also unite. I can be a heavy burden or a great comfort. I have power over all, yet am invisible. What am I?" The weight of the question settled over them. Time was running out. The images around them grew darker. "Love," Mia whispered, her voice cutting through the tension. "It's love." The clown's smile faltered, rage flickering across his painted face. "Impossible," he roared as the chamber trembled. Cracks appeared in his visage, light seeping through. The illusion began to shatter. "You may have won the game, but the prize comes with a price," he hissed. The floor gave way, and they were plunged into darkness. They landed outside the funhouse, the night air sharp in their lungs. Laughter echoed faintly as the structure imploded, disappearing as though it had never been. They embraced, a mixture of elation and exhaustion. "It's over," Jake sighed, relief evident in his weary eyes. Mia nodded, a quiet strength emanating from her. Lucas gazed back at the void where the funhouse once stood, his thoughts unreadable. Emma stood apart, a pensive expression clouding her features. "We made it," she said softly, but her tone lacked conviction. The others turned to her, concern growing. "Emma?" Jake stepped forward. She met his gaze, a flicker of sadness in her eyes. "He said one of us had to stay," she confessed, opening her hand to reveal a playing card, the Joker. "What are you talking about?" Lucas demanded. "It's the only way," she continued, her form beginning to fade. Panic set in as they reached out to her. "No!" Mia cried, tears welling anew. Emma offered a faint smile. "You all have so much to live for. Don't let fear hold you back." Her body dissolved into a cascade of shimmering fragments. The card fluttered to the ground, turning to dust. The trio stood in stunned silence, the weight of loss settling heavily upon them. The distant calliope tune drifted on the wind once more, a haunting reminder of the night's events. In the weeks that followed, they grappled with their grief. Jake immersed himself in unraveling the mystery, desperate for answers. Mia channeled her pain into art, painting vivid scenes that captured both the terror and beauty they had witnessed. Lucas sought redemption, letting down his guard and forging genuine connections. They honored Emma's memory by embracing the lessons she had taught them: courage, resilience, and the power of facing one's fears. Yet, in quiet moments, they each felt her presence. A whisper at the edge of perception. On the anniversary of that fateful night, they returned to the site, now an empty field reclaimed by nature. As the sun set, casting a golden hue over the landscape, a gentle breeze rustled the leaves. "Do you think she's at peace?" Mia asked softly. Jake nodded, though uncertainty lingered in his eyes. Lucas placed a hand on their shoulders. "She saved us," he said firmly. "Her spirit lives on in us." They stood together, united by an unspoken bond. And somewhere, carried on the wind, a faint laughter echoed, a reminder that while some riddles remain unsolved, the strength found in friendship endures beyond all.